Use the same colors I did on that coffee bar to begin with. Best part about paint, if you don't like it, just paint over it. Especially chalk paint, and it dries so fast too. Even on humid days, it will dry very quickly. So here we go. I think I might paint the inside of this the same color as the outside. I actually have a sprayer. And I got a compressor, but funny thing was, when I bought it, I saw it on Facebook. You know, I went to buy it. Hey, there's a compressor. Guy was asking, I think $265 for it. So I went there and I saw it, and he had it in the garage. And it's a pretty good compressor. It's an old one. It's an old Craftsman, and he said it works. Well, I said, can we plug it in to see how it works? He goes, I don't have an outlet. It works in here. He said something. I said, all right, well, would you take like $225 for it? So he said, oh yeah, I'll take $225. So I get it home. I'm assuming it works. And tell you the truth, to this day, I really don't even know if it still doesn't work, because I've had it for over a year now. And I've kept saying I'm going to get this thing moving, but it's actually a 240. The outlet looks just like, at a glance, I should have looked at it. My wife reminds me, I should have looked at things. I don't really look at things all the time and study them, but the outlet, or I'm sorry, the plug has some, it looks like a straight prong, a ground prong, but the other prong is sideways, which indicates it's not 120, 110. It is actually 240 volts. So now I got to get a breaker, hook it up, all that kind of stuff. And it's been over a year. I don't know why I haven't done it, but anyway, if I had, I'd be spraying this on. You can spray chalk paint on. You just got to mix it right with water. It has to be thinner. It can't be thick. It won't get through this. It won't get through the sprayer. Now I'm going to paint everything here, including the hardware. But I'm going to change up the hardware for the handles. I'm not using those round handles. Probably didn't see them. Here they are. I gotta check my phone here. It's still recording. Yeah. I'm not the greatest of filmmakers, but anyway. Painting all this is very time consuming, and I'm not going to bore you with all that, you know, unless you really want to see it. I'm going to put it down here this low, and I got to check to see what it looks like. Yeah, that's good. Should be able to see. I have this, I got this little charger on here, this extra charger, because it was so low, and the cord won't reach. I just have to be able to now, if you're new to painting, what you want to do is how I paint. I just dip a little bit in there. Depends on how thick it is. Get some paint on one side. Just brush it on. Just pop this open. And don't worry about getting paint on the inside so much. You have to go like You know, you have to tape everything off, and it's so tedious. You just gotta brush it like this, and then you can take your sander when you're done. Just take that right off, and it keeps you from. It gets the job done a lot faster. But because I do these videos so that you can see how I do it, and you know, some might say that people like paint like me are, you know, kind of a hack and just, you know, paint every old which way. Well, I can tell you right now, there's a lot to be said about doing things in a very simple way. The only reason I would spray is because I got so many projects to do. I got a whole area that used to be a horse run when we had horses, and it's full of furniture. And you gotta hit these things hard sometimes. But I wanted to take, for purposes of this video, I wanted to take a smaller project and just show you. You know, if you could feel this paint, it's gritty. It's real gritty, and what it does is it actually the chemical in there, which is like a lime material, calcium carbonate is the actual word for it. Adheres to things. It grips, and it takes on a texture that is just, well, I can tell you, people love it. I didn't like it at first. When I started using it, I said, this stuff, chalk paint, come on. And there's, not to be confused with milk paint. Milk paint's different. Milk paint you mix as a powder, and I think it's gritty, a little gritty too. But I like chalk paint. Now, look, let me tell you something. These projects can take on a life of their own at times. And I'll be doing, and I'll say, oh yeah, I'm not going to paint the inside of this. And then all of a sudden, I say, I think I'll paint the inside. But I do believe I'm going to leave this dark like inside. The other thing I don't like about it is that it has that awful green that was, I think it was its original color. This was in someone's house, I'm sure, in some corner that was from, you know, like mid-century modern, I think they call it. My wife knows all about that stuff. I don't so much. I just grab furniture. And where do I get furniture? Well, look, let me tell you something. You don't have to buy furniture. I can count on one hand how many pieces of furniture I actually bought. And if I did pay for them, I didn't pay much. Because I got a profit margin to think about. And if you're not too proud, you can find some stuff on the street, man. People throw stuff away like crazy. And I have a small trailer. I have a larger vehicle. I have a Suburban, has a large back to it. I always try to keep the back of it nice and open. It has a 4x8 bed in the back with all the seats down. And I can get almost anything I want off the side of the street. And I have gotten tons of furniture. And I also get people who call me up and say, hey, do you want this? That's how I got this. A lady that knew my wife says, hey, I got this corner cabinet and I want to get rid of it. And what do you want it? And I said, yep. And like they say, you know, free is for me. And I've turned down a lot, because a lot of people want to give you stuff, but I can't store it all. Up here is where I'm painting next. And as you can see, if you get yourself some chalk paint, you can buy it. It's expensive. I'll tell you that. I'll give you that. And they won't mix chalk paint for color. That's the other thing. You got to take what they give you. Lowe's won't mix it for you. They sell it, It's a premium. Why certain paint is more money that's already mixed, and you know, you don't have to mess around with it. I gotta take these panels out. But anyway, look, it didn't take me that long during this whole thing so far. It's only been about 10 minutes. Now, I'll tell you, try it. Try regular paint and see how long it takes to cover this stuff, this coating on here. Now this is paint. Someone painted this. But I'm telling you, even if it were like Formica, this would stick to it. And you don't have to worry about chalk lines, or I'm sorry, brush lines so much, because they'll just come right on out, as you can see. I don't know, make it dizzy. But anyway, but the faster you can get something done, the faster you can sell it. And that is what it's all about in this furniture thing. And look, I have a full-time job. You don't make $1 million doing this, but you can make a lot of money if you work hard at it. And I plan to retire one day, and this is actually pretty easy work to do. And as you put the paint on, depending where I just was painting, you know, and run marks. If it runs, just get some more paint, wipe it right on, brush right on till you brush out the run marks, or take your sander and get the brush mark out, or run out. Brush marks, as you get more coats on, like right now, you say, oh, look at that, you can see right through it. Well, you can, that's just the first coat. Point is, it sticks like crazy to anything. It's such a top quality paint. It is different though. It is not smooth paint. Like, not everybody likes it. But I'll tell you what, I have sold a lot of pieces and people love it. It's, you might think that it's like, oh, it must be trending. And yeah, it did at first, but now it is, everyone's all about the chalk paint. I gotta take these panels out. I wanted to show you how easy it is to paint with this. Now I'm just going to use a screwdriver, because you can tell this was put back in the day, because today they would never use actual pieces of wood. And I'm not putting these panels back in, but what we use a lot of, because we do like farmhouse style, I use a lot of what they call, I'm probably not going to say the right word. It's like, see, it's just plastic. But don't throw it away. You know why? Because you could probably sell that. That's probably worth something. These 2 pounds probably worth something on eBay. Someone might be looking to restore. And it sounds funny to say, but talk about the Brady Bunch. If you remember, they redid the Brady Bunch house to actually make it look like the Brady Bunch house inside and out. And the people who were planning and trying to get all those things were looking on eBay for the exact lamps that were in the house and different style things, and movie sets buy from people who sell on eBay, which we do. We sell on eBay too. And my wife is she's busy doing that all the time. We do that together, but this is they would look for stuff like this, and if they could find it, they'll buy it, and they'll tell you what, they will not offer you a lower price. They'll just pay for it. So anything that's mid-century modern, from those because you never know what they're planning to do on television, and you'll never know that it's from them. But we belong to a group, and someone said that they did know that a movie set did buy something from them for some movie, but they don't know what it was. And I don't even know what it was. I think it was I think it was a couple articles of clothing. And as soon as it doesn't come out right, I think that comes out. So, you know, and even these knobs I'm taking out, I believe those are original. So, well, I'll tell you what, that green is really coming through though. Look at that green. That just screams Brady Bunch. Anyway. And this hardware, they don't make this hardware anymore. It is, and you might say, well, I know why, because I hate it. Well, it's actual metal. And some of these pieces from back in the day were handmade. Yeah, they didn't mass produce a bunch of stuff back then. It wasn't bought from China. This stuff was American made, handmade. And of course, we don't do that anymore in this country very much. So you have to preserve. And look, I'm no tree hugger or nothing, but I would hate to see this thing get crushed up in a trash truck one trash day, because once this stuff is gone, it's gone forever. You can reproduce it, you can find plans for it probably, but you'll never have these same pieces. So you say, well, no one really likes it the way it is. So paint it, and you will see when I'm done with this, the transformation is unreal. Farmhouse is big. And you know why farmhouse is big? It's because it's part of Americana. Americana America may be a young country compared to some other countries. But if you don't preserve some of the stuff that was made back in the day, people forget about it. And there are people who still love it, and they want this, but they want it with a farmhouse twist. So when I put that, I think I mentioned it, didn't I? But anyway, the stuff called I think it's called tack cloth or something like that. It's kind of like something you use for like chicken wire or rabbit wire, build a rabbit hutch with or something, keep rabbits in. But it looks great when you put it in windows like this. The only thing I'm going to have to do is I'm going to use this as I may have to put like a piece like this and a piece like this, you know, to make it look like a window frame. Because it has to have support in the middle. It's kind of floppy. So once that piece goes in there and you're done painting it and all that, and that piece goes in, you will not have the opportunity to shore it up by just putting it in like that. It'll just be too loose. So I don't know. I mean, painting the inside of this, you want some contrast though. But you contrast down here, you contrast down, down here, contrast here. But one of the things that you want to think about is the reason why you'd want to make it dark or light inside is because, and my wife will tell you, because only ladies think this way, is that they like to put dishes and stuff in here. And if you paint that white in there, and they put a white dish in there, they're gonna say, really can't see the dish. Kind of blends in. So make that dark and paint this, or leave it dark. All depends. Best thing to do is ask your wife. She'll tell you if she cares to tell you, and she will. The hardest part about these things is painting these louvers. But as you can see, look, see, it's dry. This is dry. So when you go to put another, you can put another coat on this. Now, if I was to spray this, I've been done by now. But you need a spray booth. You can't just spray out in the air. It'll get all over everything. Overspray will get all over the ground. It'll go over your car. It'll go in your house. And believe me, the first person that knows will be your wife. And you don't want that. But anyway, here we go. Now look, it's acting like a second coat. Look how nice it looks. And that's with a brush. Listen, these brushes, you won't guess how much I paid. $1 for both these. What's $1? The dollar store. These came from the dollar store. And I'll tell you, there are, in future videos, I'm going to tell you how to take care of this brush. I've had this brush for about 3 weeks now, and there are ways. They may say, oh, that's a throwaway brush. No, there's enough thrown away. Our landfills are full enough with junk. Listen, you're never going to stop it. The end is near, but you can slow it down. Just don't be so wasteful. Start in your own backyard. You never change. You gotta lead by example. If I do it and then you see me do it, you know, I hope you do it. Things don't get thrown away. Things get reused. Things. Things in this world can be recycled, yes, but I'll tell you, when I was growing up, now it changed, but when I was growing up, I grew up in the 60s and 70s, mainly in the 70s. I'm 60 years old now, but if we wanted soda, you went down to a store in your town and you'd go buy a soda. It didn't come in a plastic bottle with a plastic cap. You bought it and you went outside to the case and there were bottles of Coke or 7-Up, whatever you liked was in there, whatever happened to be in there. And you took the bottle, it was a glass bottle, and there was an opener on the outside of the case and you popped it open. The cap went down there. You had the bottle. You took it home. You drank it. Next time you went to the store, you brought it back. And in some states, not in New Jersey where we live here, they give you a nickel to return the bottle, and the bottle will go into a case. And the soda company that delivered the soda would come by, bring more soda, load the case up, and take the empties, go back to the factory. They'd steam clean them, and they'd use them all over again. The metal caps would go get repressed and used again. It was you know, today we spend millions, if not billions of tax dollars keeping alive a recycle program in this country that's dead broke. It doesn't make any money, doesn't have to, and we're required to recycle. And everybody feels good about recycling. Oh yeah, I'm recycling newspaper. It costs more money to recycle that way than it does to produce it right from glass, comes from sand, or metal right from iron ore. But like I said, when I was a kid, we recycled bottles. All it just took, sometimes my dad would bring home a case of Pepsi or Coke, wherever it was, and you take a couple of the bottles, put them in the fridge until they got cold. You drank them, you put it back in there, and he'd go back down next time you got gas, and next time all the soda was gone, and take it back to the gas station and pick up another one if you wanted one, or just left it. And that's how they recycled. They cleaned the old bottles. They did the same thing with beer. Beer bottles were not thrown away in trash. You wonder why we have so much trash. We have so much stuff in landfills. It's because everything's disposable. Plastic. Even though there's recycling, people throw the plastic away. And in a small way, with furniture, I feel like I'm doing my part. I've worked in wood for over 30 years, and painted wood, and made stuff, and make all kinds of stuff. This picnic table, for instance, you got everything on. I made this. It's a kid's picnic table. I sell them. For a fair price. I use new lumber when I make picnic tables. I don't use recycled lumber. No one seems to like a picnic table made out of used lumber. Now you can do it. You can do it for your own kids, but when you sell it to the public, it's just not desirable. Well, I guess you get the gist of how to do this, you know. If you're just starting out, get yourself, you may start out a little expensive. Like I said, get these at the dollar store and take care of them. Wash them out right away when you're done. Get a can of chalk paint, or get a can of flat paint. Flat paint dries almost as fast as chalk paint. Gives you a little practice. Just pick a project. Get a birdhouse, an old birdhouse. Build a birdhouse if you can. Get any kind of old project you can pick up at a yard sale or something like that, and paint it, and see how it turns out. Start from there. Sell the birdhouse if you can. Then you can move into larger things. I don't have a big facility here. We do have 5 acres. I do have large areas, but my shed is not very big. We've turned the front of our garage into a showroom. We have certain pieces in here that we sell out of. And I just did this piece here for my granddaughter. And it is, it was just, I found that in the someone's gonna throw it away. And I cleaned it up, and I'm gonna give it to her. I'm not charging her. I'm gonna give it to her because she just graduated. She graduated 8th grade, I think. And so I just want to make sure that she has, you know, and of course kids are, you know, doing school at home nowadays. So my daughter's looking for a desk. It's a desk and it's a cabinet all in one. It's very unusual that you find a piece like that. And again, that piece was probably made back in the late 70s, because it had designs on it that had flower designs on it and stuff like that. Just indicates when it was made. And so anyway, I'm going to end this video right here because I got more work to do. My next video will be kind of part 2 of this. This is just kind of the beginnings. when I talk and work, I don't get done nearly as fast. So you may see some changes on it, but when I do, you'll see it. Now, we're at the end of the video. If you like what you've seen, if you like what you have heard, hit the subscribe button and the like button, and